Oh, hi, and welcome to the North American Ag Spotlight. Our guest today is the director of the University of Nebraska Engler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program. That's a mouthful. He's featured commentator of the Entrepreneurial Minute on the Angus Report on RFD TV and a noted agricultural author. I'd like to welcome you, Dr. Tom Field.
Thanks, Chrissy. It's great to be with you today.
Yeah, that's great. On the program's website, the Engler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program, it states its mission to empower enterprise builders in the courageous pursuit of their purpose. I love that. Can you tell us about the vision behind the program?
So our program's really an interesting one because we were founded by the gift of a significant entrepreneur in the United States, Paul Engler, the man who built Cactus Feed Yard, Pablo Energy. And our vision is all driven about the fact that if you build people first, if you can get people hooked into a purpose that they understand, that they believe in, and then you build a business on the backside of that, you're going to build a sustainable business that actually might stick in the rural community, that it might actually make a difference. And so we're people first, we build people, and those people build businesses. And it's been a model that's just been fantastic to work in.
Yeah, that's incredible. I wish a program like that had been started when I was in school. That would have been amazing. So how long is the program, or like how is it structured?
So we've been around for about 10 years, and so we're still changing everything we do. So we don't even have anything to defend yet because we're always in motion. But we're designed as a academically as a minor, and so students from across campus can take this minor, either a 12 credit or an 18 credit minor. But what we really have created is a community of people, and our magic, if we have it, is we treat young people like adults. From the minute they show up, we treat them like they have value and ideas and something worth pursuing. We're very collegial. We have a flat organizational structure. We've built a very, very strong culture around the mission and around our 6 pillars of belief, which are aspire, build, grit, partner, passion, and courage. And what we do is we literally meet people where they're at, and then we help them get on the entrepreneurial journey, understanding that that journey is not a 4-year experience at university. It's a lifetime journey with lots of twists and turns and high moments and tough moments. And so we literally have built this community, which has been an extraordinary experience to do that in a university setting.
Right, that's incredible, just incredible. So where are these students going after they leave this program?
So we have about 20% of the students will actually start something while they're in college. We've had students as seniors running businesses that are $500,000 to $750,000 revenue companies as they're graduating from the university, which is super exciting. We also have a lot of people side gigging, and almost every student will have some sort of side hustle. We're right now in the process with our freshmen of running a concept. We have 60 freshmen in our program this fall. We have a 60-day break between the end of fall semester and the beginning of spring. So we're talking about the 60 by 60. What can 60 side hustlers generate in 60 days?
Wow.
And we think we're going to come close to maybe having those 60 produce more than $100,000 of gross revenue, just side hustling in 60 days. Students go to work for companies. They go back to work in family businesses. They choose all kinds of routes. And then what we see is a lot of our alumni then, once they get their feet kind of grounded and they've figured out some things, then we see a lot of startups happening with our graduates 4 and 5 and 6 years post-graduation.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, and we just love the philosophy of entrepreneurship, and we know that people it's going to kick in at different times for people, right? Some when you're young, and sometimes we fully expect, 30 years from now, there'll be some folks who did the corporate gig for 30 years and then said, you know what, I'm ready to go start my thing. And the spark was lit.
Oh, that's great. So most of your students, are they from Nebraska, or are you taking, students from across the states as well?
All across the country and really globally. We have students from South America and
Wow.
Asia. We have students from across the United States. We have a New York to California and North Dakota to Texas. So
Really?
We're attracting people, predominantly Nebraskans though, and we love doing this in a place like Nebraska because the work ethic is so strong, and these young people are so down on this generation time. Like, you just got to come hang out with our students because the future is so incredibly bright, and this is such a talented group of human beings. It's just amazing.
Right. That is so cool. So as for you, I know you're a passionate advocate for not only agriculture, but also free enterprise. So how did you uh, come to this position as director?
Well, that's a long and crazy story, and none of it makes any sense. Other than I was raised on a ranch in western Colorado. I'm still a partner in that business. I was I was raised by an entrepreneurial family. My all my grandmothers, my mom, my father were all entrepreneurial people. My mom started a company when she was 50, ran it for 30 years after she'd kicked all of us out of the nest, right?
Yeah.
And had some time to focus. Um, and I went on, I came out of college, went back to work for the family business. I went back then to graduate school in the middle of the ag crisis in the 80s. I've just been lucky. I've been surrounded by good people. I've gotten lots of opportunities. I started a consulting company a little. I've been side gigging like crazy my whole life,
Right.
and it just the stars sort of aligned, and I got recruited to come here. I had no vision ever of actually doing something like this, but once the opportunity showed up, it was like, for most of us in the entrepreneurial space, when the magic hits, you answer the door, and it's you're super glad you walked through it.
For sure. Yeah. So how has COVID affected this school year?
Well, it's such a challenge, and I mean, my heart just has broken from last March through even to now. I think about, our freshman class, for example. They lost all those things as seniors in high school that a senior would normally get, and all the ceremonies and the sort of rites of passage. But we've kept going. We said, look, and fortunately the university gave us that option, and we said we're going to stay as live as we can. We've certainly practiced the protocols and done all the things we should do to keep people safe. But we've just been investing in people and just creating this culture and continue to work on it. And great case in point, we have a lot of students taking most of their courses via Zoom. And we had a student tell one of our staff the other day, it's been so hard, and I sit in my residence hall and I take these Zoom classes, and I wonder, what am I doing? And I'm missing out on all that I really thought the university would be. She said, and then I turn around and I look out the window and I see Miller Hall, where I know the Engler program is, and where entrepreneurship is alive, and where people care about me. And she said, I look at that and I know everything's going to be okay.
That's amazing.
So that's, that
So good.
you get that kind of affirmation. It's worth getting out of bed every day.
For sure. I know, and mental well-being for kids right now, especially, in high school and college and even in grade school, it's really tough. I hear stories about, the lack of socialization. We were meant to be social creatures. So hopefully this is over, over as soon as possible. We'll see.
Absolutely. And, one of the things I would throw out to people, like, is hope is such a powerful thing. And one of my favorite moments, when we first went to Zoom last spring, so I had students had scattered back out, and one day we were running a class session, and I had a young woman from Arizona, and I could see on the Zoom they were working cattle at the ranch in Arizona.
Right.
I had another young guy in Kentucky, and they were working cattle in a converted tobacco drying barn. And I said, hey, Nelson, that's a tobacco barn. He goes, how did you know that? I go, my grandmother was from Kentucky. And we had another kid fishing on the Mississippi River. And I thought, okay, this is cool. This generation, they aren't hunkered down, and they're not worried, and they're not freaking out. What they're doing is they're living, and they're merging all of this together. And, once I saw that, I said, you know what, this is awful and not fun, but we've seen worse, and we're going to get through this.
Very good outlook for sure. And those kids are lucky to have this university, for sure. So if the students could take one value away from Engler when they leave, what would you want it to be?
They know how to start. you can't win the race if you don't start. And that's the thing that we preach is you'll never be perfectly ready. Your plan's never perfect, right? Because
Right.
the market always messes up your plan.
That's for sure.
But start, right? And that's what we love about our program and our people is they're just a group of starters, and they'll, if they get knocked down, they get up, they dust themselves off, right? You get bucked off, you get back on. And that's the gritty, smart, cool way to go through life.
That's great advice. And yeah, hopefully your students are leaving with that, and I'm sure they are. I've had the opportunity to talk with Shay Keister from the Casual Cattle Conversations, and she's just an amazing girl. So now I've got to know one example of the students, and definitely she's a starter, definitely. So
Yeah, we appreciate her, and we'd love to anybody that would love to be part of what we're doing. We're open to that. And engler.unl.edu, we would entertain anybody from anywhere who's got the entrepreneurial spark. We'd love to have you in our community.
Awesome. That's good. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Field. And if anybody is interested in more information, you can go to northamericanag.com/entrepreneur. Or if you're on the site, go to Future of Ag and follow the links to Ag Entrepreneurship. And we've got direct links to the university there. So thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Chrissy.